Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today we are on the creator experience server to test out Lingsha for the very first time. We're going to get a player, use her supports, use her in whatever teams we want, and see how good she really is. Now I should mention, like I said earlier, we are in the creator experience server, so not everything is fully indicative of the final product, but regardless, boys, Lingsha, I want to try her out. I really want to see what she does. I'm actually very excited for this character, regardless of how she looks and the fact that she is Sparkle 2.0 Copium version. I still want to try her out. She's going to be the Gallagher replacement, and we're going to find out where she ranks in the tier list. Now, first thing you're going to notice is the enemy got an effect there called Befog. That was because of the technique we use right before the battle. Basically, it just makes the enemy take more break damage. Good for characters like Firefly and Boot Hill. Also, thanks to the Wisp of Aura, at the start of the next battle, you're actually going to immediately summon Fu Yuan, which is your friendly little bunny. You can see him there on the turn order. He's coming up pretty soon. Next thing of note is her basic attack. Now, her basic attack is basic. However, it does have a little bonus effect called Sylvan Smoke, which allows you to regenerate some extra energy. You can see we're going to use it here and regenerate quite a bit of energy. We regenerated almost one full half there with just a single basic attack. That's almost as much as a skill does. It's a pretty powerful ability, all things considered. Next up, we're going to have her AoE skill. Her AoE skill is also pretty simplistic. It's going to deal damage to all of the enemies on the battlefield, but also heal our allies for a little bit. Now, something else you will have noticed is that when we use that, the bunny climbed through the turn order. That's because whenever you use it, Fu Yuan's action advance is going to go forward by 20%. And if the bunny comes up here in a second, we can show it off for the first time and what it does. Now, you can see that it has a little 5 beside it, and there's a 5 beside Lingsha as well. Now, what does that 5 mean? That is what is referred to as Fu Yuan's action count. Fu Yuan's action count can accumulate up to 5. When the action count reaches 0, or when Lingsha is knocked down, Fu Yuan is going to disappear from the battlefield. Now, there is a couple ways to get this action count up. One of them is by using Lingsha's skill, which is going to increase it by 3. And that's why a majority of the time you are going to want to use her skill to increase the action count and do more damage. Now, a couple important things to note about this rabbit is that with one of Lingsha's bonus abilities being Ember's Echo, if any of our characters on field ever get below 60% HP, the rabbit will automatically activate. So for example, we're going to lose 50% HP with Firefly's little E here, and we're going to see the rabbit is going to activate immediately, which is why she's so good with Firefly, is because when Firefly loses all her HP by using her skill, she's able to immediately regen by using Lingsha's ability. Because if you don't already know, the rabbit restores health along with dispelling a single debuff. Now, this rabbit's damage is a little bit random. You can't control where it goes. However, it is important to note that the rabbit is going to prioritize targets with toughness greater than 0 and targets with fire weakness. Unfortunately, there's no targets with fire weakness. However, we can apply one with Firefly. And you're going to notice that the bunny is going to prioritize the target in the middle because it had the fire weakness. To be honest, Lingsha and Firefly as a pairing is pretty nutty. It's pretty insane. Lingsha is immediately able to restore all of Firefly's HP that she takes away from herself. She is able to apply the Befog effect, which is unremovable and increases break damage for all your units who attack this character or enemy. She's able to apply additional damage, additional outgoing healing, and all her attacks scale on break effect, which pairs well in general break teams. When I say scale with break effect, I'm more referring to the bonus effect called Vermilion Waft, which increases this unit's attack and outgoing healing by a percentage of her break effect. In reality, most of her attacks, like her skill, actually scale off her base attack. Same thing with her ultimate and her basic attack, they actually just scale off her attack. However, you can get additional attack by getting more break effect on her with the bonus effect Vermilion Waft. Now, the last thing that we need to take note of is Lingsha's ultimate, which is actually pretty neato. So let's use it here. We're going to click 4, and we're going to activate the ultimate where she flies in the air, which is a really pretty animation. Now, there's a couple things to note about this ultimate. One is that the ultimate gets a lot better if you do have her light cone, and we're going to see why here in a second. But for right now, let's just use the ultimate, see the pretty animation, and we can explain a little bit about it. So we're going to do something to the enemy there. So what we did there is we inflicted 2 things. One was woe free. The second was the Befog effect. Those are the 2 effects we applied when we used that ultimate. Befog was from the base ultimate. Whenever you attack an enemy with her ultimate, you're going to inflict Befogged, which increases the break damage the enemy takes. Also, this does increase Fu Yuan's action advance by 100%. If you notice, right after we use the ultimate, Fu Yuan activated. We'll play a clip of it now. That's what happens when you use the ultimate. I should also mention it's healing as well. It also heals all your characters, like all her abilities do. Her skill heals, everything heals. I guess except for her single target, that doesn't heal, but everything else does. Now, the other effect that we got on this unit, the woe-free effect, was actually got from her light cone, her signature light cone. Whenever you use your ultimate on an enemy, the enemy target is actually going to take 10% increased damage that can be additionally boosted based on the amount of break effect you have on her. So for example, we have 205 break effect, which brought this damage boost up to 18%. And that's the effect that you get from the light cone and allows your characters to do even more damage to the enemy and just obliterate them. And I think that pretty much covers her entire kit. I don't think there's anything I missed. She's a damage dealer, a healer, everything you could want from a support in Honkai Star Rail, in my opinion. Is she a must pull? Probably not. To be completely transparent, if you already have a Gallagher, I don't see too much reason to pull this character. She is inherently a little bit better than him. She does more healing, more damage, and it's just generally a better break support than he is. However, it's not by that much of an incremental amount that it would actually be worth pulling her, in my opinion. If you already got an E6 Gallagher, I honestly do not see too much reason to pull this character. However, she does what she's intended to, and we can still talk about a bit of her relics, Lightcones, etc. if you do intend to pull this character, regardless of the meta, and you just think she's pretty, which is fair enough. First off, for her Lightcones, there are a variety of options. Now, her best one is obviously going to be the signature, Scent Alone Stays True, which we talked about a little bit earlier. As for some other 5-star Lightcones that you can use, Echoes of the Coffin isn't too bad. It provides some attack for Lingsha, which, as you already know, she scales mostly off attack and break effect, so this is actually pretty good for her. Night of Fright gives her a little more energy regeneration and then also helps her healing just a smidge more. Post-op Conversation is more of the same thing, but in a 4-star version. What is Real gives her a little more break effect, which is obviously good for her. However, it does require her to use her basic attack, which isn't always the most optimal thing. And then Shared Feeling is also a pretty decent option, giving more outgoing healing and energy regeneration for all your allies. Those are going to be all the Lightcones I would consider on her. There are some other options there, but generally, I would consider those your best free-to-play, low spender, or whale options. Next up, we can talk a little bit about her best in slot relic sets. There are a lot of options. Generally, I would consider her best sets to include the speed set, more specifically the 2-piece speed, because she benefits a lot from speed. Same thing with the 2-piece Iron Cavalry, can pretty be nice. This 4-piece can also be a little bit nice, but I prefer the 2-piece because she just needs more break effect. However, the 4-piece for super break is really, really good. You can get her even more break effect if you decide to pair it with a 2-piece watchmaker, which can be pretty good. Other than that, there aren't too many options I would consider. If you want a bit more bulk, you go something like the Guard of Wuthering Snow, but mostly you're just going to want to use the 2 break sets or maybe mix in a 2-piece speed. Then for your planar ornaments, there's one really obvious best set, which is the Forge of the Lotus Lantern Wick, which gives you more speed. Of course, when the wearer hits an enemy that has a fire weakness, you're going to increase your break effect, which is obviously insane for this character in particular. So you're really going to want to try to get this 2-piece for her. If you don't have that, then I guess you could go Talia, Kingdom of Banditry, which again does give you a little extra break effect. And if you have over 145 speed, you get a total of 36%, which can be pretty nice. Those are the only 2 sets I would really recommend for her. You can cope and maybe go for some energy regen sets. Penacony Grand Hotel isn't a terrible option because you are going to want to pair with Firefly most of the time, so this set can work out relatively well. As for the actual stats you're going to want on your build, number 1 is going to be outgoing healing on the body, speed on the boots, attack percent on the orb, and then energy regen or break effect on the rope depending on your stats. If you feel like you have enough break effect, you can go for energy regen because you do happen to get a lot of break effect if you are using this 4-piece and this 2-piece. And you can get somewhere in the range of like 105, which isn't great. Actually, this build could use a lot more. But if you pair it with something like her best in slot light cone, then you're bringing it up to 160, and then you have, you know, a lot better break effect. And And then you have the option of going energy regen rope. For substats, I would generally recommend prioritizing break effect, speed. That's about it. I guess you can do attack percent if you're a little cope, but those two stats I would prioritize above everything on pieces like your hat and your gloves. And I think that about covers Lingsha's entire kit, how you want to build her. Pretty simple stuff. She's a really simple character. Going into a little bit of teams, I've already discussed this previously, but basically you're just going to want to pair her with the Firefly team, the very basic Firefly team, which consists of Trailblazer, Ron May, Firefly, and herself. This is going to be generally her best team that she can work with, replacing Gallagher in the old Firefly team. Her next best main DPS that she can work with is going to be Boothill. That's going to be her second best option next to Firefly, because Boothill is the second best break character in the entire game. This team would consist of Boothill, Ron May, and then some sort of support. You can use Bronya here, that would work. And this team would also be a really solid team. Other than that, I don't see too many characters pairing that great with her. She is mostly wanting to be paired with characters who do a lot of break, like for example, a Firefly or a Boothill. So those are the two DPSs I would use with Lingsha. And that's what we're going to try right now. We're going to head over to the parlor car and we're going to see how good she really is. Lingsha, baby. Let's see. We're going to put you into MOC 7 and we're going to use the basic Firefly team. And is this team really as fruitful as I think it is? We're going to find out now. Is she any better than Gallagher? I think so personally, just from a base kit perspective, but let's just see how fast we can kill this thing. It's going to be insane. As we all know, Firefly breaks like a mad woman, and now with the ability of Lingsha, we're going to get a ton of healing and not even lose any health when we use something like her E single target, because the bunnies. And then we immediately get all our health back, which I think is really cool. Even when we use something like her skill, boom, we regenerate more HP, and we go into the Firefly skill, and we deal a crap load of damage. And you know what? We're getting up that bunny pretty often. And although it's not like a crazy amount of damage, it's something that's going to help a little bit. 7,000 damage here and there isn't the worst thing in the world. Can it be better? For sure. But it is what it is. Bunnies go in, 5,000 damage. Yeah, they're not the greatest thing in the world, to be honest. Anyways, let's get Befog on these enemies so that our Firefly can do a little bit more damage. We're also going to get the woe-free effect so that we can do even more damage. And now we have 3 separate debuffs on them. 1 from Firefly, 2 from Lingsha, and it's time to murder things. I don't think we can break here. Can we break? Ooh, we broke 1. Ooh, baby. And then, wait, she got the other break. Come on now, Lingsha. Do your thing. 40,000 super break. Oh my gosh. 30,000 super break. We win. Let's go. Regardless, there is one more team I want to try, actually. I wanted to also try the Boothill team. Obviously, that team was bound to be overpowered. But I also want to see her capabilities with Boothill, because he's like the second best option here. And a lot of people are going to want to use this comp. Let's test how good it is. Is it just as good as Firefly? Let's find out. Obviously, it's single target, which is a little rough, but it's not bad. We can use the AoE attack. We're going to need to get up super break and go in. Don't put Boothill. Are you kidding me? Screw the sleep effect, man. Let's go. The bunny got rid of the debuff. Huge bunny hit, bro. And we have Befog already on the enemy, meaning Boothill's about to one-shot this thing, surely. Damn, he didn't one-shot. Shoot. Are you going to get a break here, Lingsha? I think you are. Come on. 89k? Dang! That's from the 89% break effect. Her breaks are actually pretty powerful. All things considered, her breaks are pretty good. Obviously, majority of the time, we're going to want to break with Boothill or Firefly or something of that matter. But if we break with her, it's actually not all that bad. Killed one little doggo. He's down. 28k super break. Oh, God. Boothill. Bunnies. Oh, the bunnies just did 104k. Wait, bunnies and super breaks actually insane. 100k bunnies go crazy. Wait, I didn't even think about that. She actually might be pretty good in super break because she can do the AoE super breaks. Okay, I see you, Lingsha. I might have underestimated you. AoE super breaks when everything's weakness broken goes insane. 70k on the bunny again. Break? 60. She's my new DPS. She is my new main DPS, bro. Why would I use Boothill when I legit have Lingsha main DPS? Bro stuck in permanent sleep. There, he's back. Kick him. But the real DPS, about to finish it up. Lingsha. Oh, wait, she actually did it. 57k, the bunny's got it done. Is Lingsha DPS the new meta? I don't know. But But regardless, she actually functions pretty well on her own. She may not even need a DPS. You pair her with Ron May and Trailblazer, and she does pretty well on her own. I had a lot of fun with that. Regardless, that's going to be the end of our video for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you like Lingsha too. But regardless, I'm going to see you all in the next one. Peace.